Hi everyone, it's Shelly from McPherson Arts and Crafts, and I'm here with Brenda and Shelly Marie.
Hi guys. Yesterday we did a couple of short clips introducing you to our new product that's ReBornFX matte velvet, and we also have a satin velvet which we haven't shown yet, but we're more worried at this point with the shortage with the Genesis product with the matte varnish. So yesterday we did a couple of little videotapes, and you'll note that we've decided to change the color of the logo on there just to identify it quicker for us for picking orders. So we've changed it from the pink to the dark purple, and so we just wanted to make a quick note of that. Now Shelly here, I think I don't want to ramble on here, but a lot of you know that the background of McPherson Arts and Crafts started in 1972 with my mother. I've worked through many, many years here in the store, but I'm not an artist. I'm not even a crafter. I can tell you a lot about craft products. I can tell you a lot about artist products. But Shelly's been teaching here at the store since 1989, I believe it was. And yeah, and she's done every medium you can imagine. She's worked with, I got to tell my cheat sheet because it's so long. She's done oil paints, acrylic paints, watercolor. She's worked with pastels, art pencils with drawings, both color and watercolor pencils, alcohol inks, ink drawings. I remember you doing the Chinese brush stuff. And last but not least, and there's many others, but most importantly that we want to talk about today is that Shelly is actually one of only 10 accredited Genesis teachers. Now Genesis, when it first came out, we actually had the privilege of having the inventor of Genesis here at our store. Gosh, when was that? 2001 or 2002? Yeah, I think 2002. Yeah. And he came and did a seminar. It was really super interesting. The guy that invented it used to do prosthetics. So that's the base of what Genesis is made from. Shelly has a chemistry background in school too. So she really related well to what the ingredients were, etc. So as soon as we heard about, well, we knew there was a shortage in the certain ingredient for the Genesis heat set, I said we have to try to solve this problem. Now there's many others out doing the same thing, and kudos to them. There's a lot of you on social media trying to figure things out, and we're right there with you. Like we're cheering you on. But this is something that Shelly, I think, has come to a resolve, at least until Genesis gets back up and running. It is an air dry, but it works with both. I'm going to let her tell you all about that. So, okay?
So what we had done previously is we showed you that it goes on great onto the acrylic air dries. On the left side here, you'll see the shininess of the original paint that was there, and this is how it matted down with one coat. Now I do recommend that you do 2 very thin coats, because then you won't get any brush lines or sponge lines on there. I always put things on in thin coats in a couple of layers. As to when to put a second layer, if you're using thin coats, I usually put a second layer on within an hour or 2 after the first coat is dry to the touch, and then after that it is good to leave it for about 45 hours to 72 hours depending on your humidity in your environment there, before you start rooting on top of it or whatever else you need to do for the curing. Over here we did it on the Genesis, and we used a black Genesis here just to show you, because black Genesis has quite a bit of a shine to it. So we did put it on top of the Genesis here. This has been heat set as well, so you can see this is the black, this is what we did with the white, and then I even did down here the skin tones, just to show you that you won't see any chalkiness once the varnish goes over top. It stays pretty well the same.
And you mentioned, sorry for interrupting, yesterday I remember you mentioning the reason you chose white is to show it doesn't yellow.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Okay. Hey, I learned something. Okay.
All right. And so that was my demonstration yesterday, and also there's a little clip on here on the YouTube we're doing right now. It's going to show you, I do a heat spot check for you to show you that it doesn't lift, just to demonstrate that. So what I'm going to do here very quickly is, now I've got the other medium some people use, and it is the powders. Now you can use pan pastel powders if you like, or there's other powders out there. I have my own brand here that I do, and there'll be YouTube's videos done on that as well. But I just want to show you how this matte varnish, velvet matte varnish, goes on top of here. So what I do is, I just did what I tell people not to do, is don't shake it. So now I'm going to this bottle. If you shake it, you get bubbles in it, and it's hard to work with bubbles in any kind of varnish. So no varnish should be shook. What you should do is lie your bottle down and give it a nice little roll, and that should keep your matting agents that are kind of probably going to the bottom. Most matting agents are heavier than the rest of the binders in there, and sometimes I'll even store these upside down, because then the matting is a little easier when it's at the top. Anybody who dips into any kind of varnish without doing a roll or some kind of mixing or stirring, you may end up with something very, very shiny, because all of the shininess goes to the top of a varnish and the matting liquids go to the bottom. So that's why it's very important. Doesn't matter what varnish you're using, that you give it a stir.
So this original one that we have, also the ultra matte, we're still keeping it on the shelf, but you're also saying the same thing with this.
Oh, give it a stir. All the matter, you can even see when this one sits. Now this is a little more liquefied, and it doesn't have that heaviness that you can see. This, you can see we've got like, it's got matting powder in it, obviously. And you can see it will separate. So you need to go in, and that's why we put them in the jars, is because you need to stir it. If you don't stir it and you just dip in, you're just going to get all the shiny stuff out of there. Right. And that's why you end up with problems coming through. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And what I usually say to people when they go to put it on is, I usually have a damp brush here, not much water in it. Usually use a paper towel. Don't have one here, of course.
Do you want me to go get you one?
No, I'm fine. I've learned how to ad-lib in many things here. Okay, so I take a brush and I wipe it across like this, and then I showed you earlier on with the earlier tapes that I kind of run the popsicle stick over top. What that does is it takes any lumps, and it will take any excess off, which I don't want. I want a very thin layer, as I said. Especially when you're working with the powders, you don't want any thick layer. You want to pound this as less as and as soft and gentle as you can, because you'll be lifting powders if you're rubbing and scrubbing on there. So what I'm going to do is just pounce over top of these powders that have been rubbed in. Okay, and I just did powders here, so we'll let it dry, and then I'll do a second coat after it dries in a little bit here. But as you can see, the powders didn't come off, so that's the importance of getting very little on there at your first application. Okay, so as it's drying here, we've got a fan going in behind her. You can see the shine is starting to already go away on the parts that I had put the matte on with just one application here. Okay, so hopefully you will give this stuff a try.
Shelley, I know that we've been scrambling to get different ingredients to do this. How are we set as far as supply goes? What's your estimate as to what we would have available at the moment?
For this?
No. Okay. We know we originally we're a couple months for this. But if we can't get anything else, how long do you think this would last? Until Christmas?
We're into the new year, I'm pretty sure.
Depending on how it goes, but while supplies last. Yeah. And we like this product a lot. And I think you will too. Yeah. So it could be air dry. Doesn't matter if you heat set it, it's not going to affect it. No, it's not going to affect it.
But it is a last coat. Don't put it on and then stick it in your oven. It's air dry. The only reason I say you can put it on top of Genesis, and if you need to put, let's say you discovered a mistake and you want to correct it, you can still put it in even though it's got that matte.
It's just good to know that it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Good?
Okay. All right.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.